All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to drop a instance of layers right into a new session in Reason. And as soon as I've done this, you'll notice that it's already populated with one of the default patches. That's because in Preferences, Load Default Sound in New Device is selected. And what that means is that any of the patches that are in the root directory of layers are going to be the first ones played, or it's going to auto-populate them. So to hear some of these, I'll go ahead and draw in a couple of bars of melody. Let's set it up as a loop. And I'm going to set my snap to bar so I can fill this out really quickly. So we'll do... Now let's hear it. And you'll notice as I play this sequence that it's very full. You could almost use one patch of layers to fill out a whole song. And in fact, that's the kind of synth that it's designed to be. Either a synth that you can layer a bunch of sounds on top of and create a really thick patch, or a device that you can use to populate an entire track with music very, very quickly. Now, since we're still in the default mode, let's go ahead and hit some of the arrows and hear some of the other sounds that layers can do. Ooh, that's a really big, thick patch. Oh, yeah. Let's turn the tempo down a little bit, too. Oh, that's a huge bass. And then suddenly it's back over to something ethereal. Now, of course, you didn't come here to watch me flip through all the patches, so let's learn how to, right now, jump into a patch of our own. We'll start by right-clicking on Layers, and we'll hit Reset Device, which in any Reason synthesizer will reset it back to a very basic patch that doesn't have a whole lot of settings that you can build from. And as soon as I did this, the initialized patch for Layers is a very simple string patch. Now, you'll notice that it's playing actually the same 4 patches all on top of each other. I'm going to go ahead and mute these other layers, as they're called, and now we're only hearing one layer. And one thing that's very unique about Layers is that it's a synthesizer that's filled with oscillators, which are actually samples from other classic synthesizers. So right now we're actually hearing sounds from an Andromeda, but I can click on it and I can go through down the list and I can go through a bunch of different ones as well. Like, for example, I can go to the Juno 60 saw bass, or I can go to the Waldorf Microwave Fat Bass subpatch. And while one microwave fat bass sounds great, 2 microwave fat basses sounds even better. Let's give it a listen real quick. Now you can already hear a big difference when you hear the 2 patches on top of each other. But in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you a way to actually go through and make some variations between the 2 layers with tuning and so on. That's going to make an even larger sound and will definitely cement why you want Layers as a part of your main Reason lineup.